Um, I just made a post on my Instagram that you can look at if you want to verify what I'm about to say. In about the time I was born, 1970, 71, the crude death rate, meaning the total number of people per thousand that died in the United States, was about 10%. That number gradually dropped due to whatever, improved standard of living, economics, health, whatever improvements. And that number declined from the 70s. Actually, here's the thing. If you go back, actually, if you look at other places in the world, crude death rate, the United States has one of the lowest, relatively speaking, lowest crude death rates in the world, but not the lowest. Crude death rate gets down into the 40 per thousand or 50, 60s. Crude death rate is calculated in numbers like 4.6, 5.8, 6.7. So right now, 2020, the United States has 8.9 crude death rate, meaning that 89 people per thousand are going to die in the United States. That's lower than it was when I was a kid. Okay. Now, if you look, crude death rate dropped from the time I was born until I think early 2000s or mid 2000s, maybe even 2010, somewhere like that. But shit changed. Okay. And crude death rate has been going up steadily, just like this, just like the stock market, since the early to mid 2000s. I'm not looking at the graph right here in front of me, but crude death rate went down. In some places in the world, crude death rate just runs at about 14. Way over where we're at in the United States right now. And I just mean historically speaking. Like if you look back from like 4, 5, 6 years ago in places like, Eastern Europe or undeveloped countries, people have a crude death rate that's up in the, well over 10, 11, 12, 15, 16%, something like that. And that's, and through history, if you look back in the 50s and 60s and back in the 20s and whatever, I mean, 15% or something is just kind of normal. All right. Our crude death rate right now is barely over what it was 2 years ago. I mean, barely. And if you look and you're like, okay, well, it's going up. No, if you look at the 2 years before that, it's basically been going up about 0.5% or 0.25% or something every year since like 2010 or something, or 10, I think. So for the last 11 years, our crude death rate has been climbing steadily. And 2021 is just right in that line. It's like this. It's like 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 16, 17, 18. I don't know what that was about. And 19, 20, right? The fact that the crude death rate is a little bit higher this year than last year is to be expected. If you look at the forecasted crude death rate that they projected like 10 or 20 years ago, we're way below what they projected even. They knew shit was going to get bad. They could tell by what was happening that it was going to go up, and they projected it, and that's actually, we're not as high as they had projected. Point I'm getting at is, look at my Instagram, okay? Look at average flu cases for every other year until now, and there's 0 this year, all right? But the way I broke this down a while back was I said, I'm going to watch crude death rate and see if any more people actually die this year than last year, or if they're just shifting numbers, right? COVID pays a lot of money. If you get swabbed and you're at the hospital and they can come up with a positive, that's 13 grand in their pocket. If you've got the flu or anything else, right, there's a number of different viruses, viral infections, man. You can have all kinds of infections. If they can get a swab, that's $13,000 in their pocket, all right, from your insurance company. If they can put you on a ventilator, if they can justify putting you on a ventilator, that's 37 or 39 grand, okay? So what are they looking at there? Like $52,000 if they can get a positive on you. If you think that the medical industry is the most profitable industry in the world, right? More than oil, more than Elon Musk, more than Amazon. The people who make the most money in the United States probably in the world, is the medical industry. And this is how they're doing it. I can't read that. Uh-oh. And these messages go away too, so straight truth. Yeah, straight truth. Okay, here's the deal. If there was a pandemic, listen to me. I'm telling you the truth here. When the Black Plague happened, they were digging mass graves to put people in, okay? People were dying on the streets. Everybody knew somebody who was dead. I don't know anybody's dead. You know, nobody. I honestly have not heard of a single person that I personally know who died. I haven't had any more deaths this year than average so far as in my group. That's what kind of cued me off. I was like, where's all the dead people? I know people die, but people die every year. I was looking for excess deaths. Like, show me the more deaths this year than last year. Okay, so what happened was so many more people are dying of COVID this year, but coincidentally, nobody's dying of anything else. Nobody's dying of flu or emphysema or any other disease other than COVID. So look into it. Check out my Instagram and go from there. No more people died last year than ever. Actually, less. So just my point is, there are less people dying now and in 2020 than there was when I was a kid. And if you want to go back into like the, industrial era, like turn of the century, we're like half. Okay, half the people are dying. Oh, here's so funny. Well, just do that. Look at how many people are actually dying. Think about that.